That was Jackie Chan from Tiesto, Post Malone, and Desco. You're listening to the Morning Breakdown on the Eagle 1575, and I'm your host, Petty Officer Spurley, here with Emergency Management and the Red Cross, and we're getting into just our final thoughts for the show, as well as some shelter-in-place stuff for you guys.
So, the final thing we want to talk a little bit about is the actual response in case of a terrorist attack. The first thing I want to say is if local authorities are recommending that you evacuate or are giving you instructions to go somewhere else, we highly recommend that you follow those instructions. It's not done on a whim, that there's reasons for those instructions. More likely, though, than evacuating in case of a terrorist attack is that you're going to be asked to shelter or shelter in place. Before I pass it over to Sergeant Gaylord, I did want to make a slight comment. That if you are in the civilian community, there's a little bit of a difference in vocabulary. You may hear, I'm sure you've heard the term shelter in place, and it means different things for different communities. So for the civilian community, shelter in place actually just literally means you're going to take shelter in your home or take shelter in your office in case of an event. It doesn't necessarily involve the chemical attack aspects that the military has. So if you are asked by local civilian authorities to shelter in place, what that means is they want you to stay off the roads, they want you to stay in your office, in your home, and wait until the emergency passes. Close the doors, lock the doors, stay safe. Obviously, it has a little bit of a different connotation in the military community, so I'm going to pass this over to Sergeant Gaylord so he can talk a little bit about shelter in place here in Misawa.
Alright, so shelter in place here in Misawa, all manned facilities here on Misawa Air Base have enough shelter-in-place rooms to protect all the individuals in the event of a hazmat incident. In the event that shelter-in-place is called out, you're going to proceed to the nearest room. It should be identified by a bright yellow sign on the door or on any of your safety boards, that sort of thing. If you're not seeing it, go ahead and contact your unit emergency management rep, and they can tell you where the location of your office's shelter-in-place is. Once inside of there, you're going to go ahead and open up the checklist, follow the checklist, make sure that you seal off the room completely. There should be enough plastic to seal off all vents, windows, and doors, and then you're going to stay there until either someone comes to get you or you're released. Again, the main purpose of the shelter-in-place from the military perspective isn't a hazmat release, and so it should only be about 2 to 3 hours. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you know what to do. Make sure you know where it is. So if for whatever reason you can't find in your office or where you're working at, if you can't find that shelter-in-place room, go ahead and talk to your facility manager and your unit EM rep, and they'll hook you up and get you all the information.
Right. One of the big differences between military shelter-in-place and the civilian is, in the civilian world, you may be asked to shelter in your home for up to 3 days. So you want to make sure that you have your emergency preparedness kits put together, you have enough food and water to last that amount of time. Another useful preparation is to learn some basic first aid. The Red Cross does have a CPR first aid class once a month. And then you're going to listen to the advice of your local radio. What are some of the other sources here in Misawa that you might be getting emergency information?
For Misawa, again, we have the Giant Voice as well as the ad hoc notification that will be pushed out. And you can go ahead, for those active duty members, you can actually put your spouse's cell phone as an alternate. That way they're actually getting the messages as well. So that is one option. Again, there's also various apps that'll let you know about earthquakes, typhoon, tropicalstormrisk.com lets you know when there's a typhoon in the area, so you can make plans for that, as well as the Commander's Access channel and all of the visual boards and stuff all throughout the base.
Now, would AFN be putting stuff out too?
Yeah, we generally, as soon as we get with typhoon stuff, so as soon as we get into T-Core, we'll start putting out information and then keep people updated. As far as you guys go, I know you guys have a few web apps and stuff for any type of information, really.
So what I will say is the Red Cross has some great apps. Unfortunately, some of our more live information, so we have a hurricane app, we have a tornado app. In the States, those apps actually have specific alerts for different areas. They've got what shelters are open. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of live information overseas.
Yeah.
However, our emergency app has some great information. The first aid app, our pet first aid app. Pet First Aid app has information on disaster preparedness for your furry family members. So those are all good things to download to keep all that information handy.
So, and if you have any other questions, we're going to be out at the BX parking lot on September 21st with all of the various emergency response agencies out there, so you can ask them questions, see what we do. We're going to have a lot of interaction. You'll have fire trucks for your kids, all sorts of fun stuff, as well as an earthquake simulator. So hopefully you'll get out. If you have any questions, you can come out and ask us in person, and we'll be there to talk with you guys.
And that's on the 21st from when?
From 11 to 6 p.m.
11 to 6 p.m.
And we'll have volunteers out with them as well at kind of mini information fairs on the 14th and 17th. So if you have any questions and can't get out there on the 21st, stop by the table.
Alright.
And as always, check out the Red Cross website for more information, and the Misawa Red Cross Facebook page.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for coming in. It's always a pleasure to have you guys in here. I always get some awesome info from all you guys. And so we look forward to seeing you guys again in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
Alrighty. We're going to get back to music right after your extended weather forecast here on the Eagle 1575.
Thank you.